You sit down to study, or edit, or write. 10 minutes later, your phone's in your hand, a random tab is open, and you don't even remember why you unlocked the screen. Quick question, when was the last time you actually focused for 10 straight minutes without fighting your brain? If that sounds uncomfortably familiar, don't worry, you're not broken, you're not lazy, and you're definitely not stupid. But something is off, and once you see it, you can fix it way faster than you think. Let me tell you something that messed with my head the first time I realized it. Most people don't have a focus problem, they have a focus stamina problem, and that changes everything. Think about it. If you tried to sprint for 30 minutes without training, you wouldn't call yourself lazy when you collapse after 20 seconds. You'd say, yeah, I'm out of shape. Your attention works the same way. School doesn't train it, social media destroys it, and nobody ever tells you that focus is something you build, not something you magically have. Here's the scary part though. The longer you avoid deep focus, the harder it becomes to even start. And this is where people get stuck. You sit down to study for exams, your brain panics. You open YouTube just for a second, an hour disappears. Guilt hits, you promise to lock in tomorrow. Tomorrow comes, and the cycle repeats. But here's the twist, and this is important. Your brain is doing exactly what it was trained to do. Every scroll, every notification, every quick dopamine hit. You trained it to crave stimulation, not effort. So let me ask you something honestly. If you can't focus for 10 minutes right now, why are you expecting yourself to suddenly focus for 2 hours? That expectation alone is killing your motivation. Now, listen carefully, because this is where things flop. You don't start by forcing long focus. You start by lowering the bar so much that your brain can't resist stepping over it. Here's the rule that changes everything. Never start with the task. Start with the timer. Not, I'm going to study this chapter. Not, I'm going to finish this video. Just this. I'm going to sit here for 5 minutes. That's it. 5 minutes sounds laughable, right? Good. That's the point. Your brain doesn't panic at 5 minutes. It doesn't negotiate. It doesn't reach for distraction immediately. But here's the part nobody tells you. The real win isn't the work. The real win is showing your brain that focus is survivable. Once 5 minutes ends, something weird happens. You don't feel drained, you feel okay. Sometimes even interested. And now you've unlocked momentum. But wait, don't increase time yet. That's the trap. Most people fail here because they think, oh, I'm back, let's go hard. Nope, wrong move. You repeat 5 minutes, again and again. Only after your brain stops resisting do you move up. And here's the micro cliffhanger, because this next part is what keeps people consistent. You don't need discipline, you need predictability. Your brain hates uncertainty, it loves patterns. So instead of saying, I'll study when I feel motivated, you anchor focus to something automatic. For example, after dinner, 5-minute focus. After school, 5-minute focus. Before sleep, 5-minute focus. Same trigger, same action, no thinking. Motivation stops being the gatekeeper, and suddenly, focusing isn't a decision anymore, it's just what happens next. But let's be real, even when you sit down, distractions still pull at you. Your phone buzzes, your mind wanders, you remember something random you need to check. Here's the rule that saved me. You are allowed to get distracted, just not to move. Sounds simple, it's powerful. If your mind drifts, fine. If you feel bored, fine. If the urge to check your phone hits, fine. But you stay in the chair. No switching tabs, no standing up, no grabbing the phone. Your brain learns something brutal in the best way possible. Distraction doesn't lead anywhere. And slowly, it stops trying so hard. Now let's talk about why focus feels physically painful sometimes. This is huge. When you're constantly consuming short content, your brain expects reward now. Deep work delays reward. That delay creates discomfort. Most people run from that feeling instantly, but that discomfort, that's not failure. That's focus forming. It's like muscle burn, and once you realize that, everything changes. You stop asking, why is this so hard, and start saying, oh, this is the part that's supposed to feel uncomfortable. And here's a secret most creators won't admit. The people you think are naturally focused, they still feel that resistance. They just don't obey it anymore. Now let's make this practical. Tonight, not tomorrow, not next week. Tonight. Here's your reset plan. You pick one task, one, Not a to-do list, not 5 things. You set a timer for 5 minutes. You put your phone face down. You sit. If you do nothing but stare at the screen for 30 seconds, that counts. If you get distracted, that's allowed. If you feel bored, perfect. When the timer ends, you stop. No pressure to continue. But here's the punchline. Most of the time, you will continue. Not because you forced yourself, but because starting was the hardest part. And tomorrow, you do it again. Same trigger, same 5 minutes. Then one day you'll look up and realize something wild. 10 minutes doesn't scare you anymore. 30 minutes feels possible. And focus isn't this rare, painful thing. It's just a skill you trained. So, if your brain feels fried, if school feels overwhelming, if you keep starting and quitting, you're not failing. You're just untrained. And training starts small. Try this tonight. 5 minutes, one task. No pressure. Build the muscle, and everything else follows.